So you have a location in Business Central that is set up with basic configuration. So no shipments, no picky notes, no receipts, and you are receiving and shipping inventory from this document, sales orders and purchase orders. But now you want to enable this location so that you can use advanced warehouse management system features like picks, putaways, and bin replenishment and cross-docking maybe. Well, if that is the case, there is a functionality in Business Central that allows you to turn an existing location with inventory in it into a location where you can use multiple bins and zones and, as I said before, receipt, putaways, picks, cross-docking and bin replenishment. There is this feature that requires us to go through a number of steps and tasks in a certain order, because if we fail to do the right thing in the right order, we might compromise data. So let's see how it works, and by the end of this video we would have turned this location, my west location, you can see my sandbox, into a location warehouse management system, and you can use this guide step by step if you want to do the same in your system. So let's look at my sandbox and let's see what we have. You can see that I have, I'm looking at a list of items where the totals are filtered by location west. So the inventory is filtered by this location. So in location west I have only 2 items, 50 pieces of my Athens desk and 6 of my Mexico chair. This inventory is what is now in my location without any specific bins or zones. The first thing that I want to do is to take note of this inventory, because it's very important that from a business process point of view, you go through your inventory check before you go through this process. It's a very good idea to do a stock check, and so that you can be sure that the quantity you're moving is actually correct. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to export and open this list in Excel, and I will use my Excel spreadsheet as a check, essentially, that I will perform later to make sure that my items are going in the right place. Now, this is just a list of 2 items that I have created just for this video. In a real business scenario, you might have hundreds of items, and you will likely move this hundreds of items into maybe thousands of bins, right? So this is my spreadsheet, and again, as I said, in your case it may be even a lot longer, but it doesn't matter because the concept is the same. So what are we going to do now, and let me clear up my spreadsheet so that we can have something that makes sense. Excellent. 56 pieces of inventory that we're going to move. The process that we're going to follow is in 2 steps. So in phase 1, we will have this inventory be placed to a certain bin, and this is going to be my adjustment bin. And then what we're going to do in phase 2, we will have from bin 1, let's say, and from bin 1 is going to be my adjustment, okay, and then it's going to be to bin 1, and this is going to be my actual bin. So for example, this is going to be my 001, and let's say I want to have in this bin, I want to have only 30, right? And in this one I will put all the quantities in my 002, and then again into bin, again movement number 4, I will have the A003, let's say, and the remaining quantity, which is 20. Okay, so this is 20. All right, there we go. So in a real business scenario, you might have quite a lot of complexity here, right? Because you might want to have the same quantity of the item in 3, 4, maybe more bins, but the logic is the same. This is just a simple spreadsheet for this video, but I hope you get a point, right? You want to get your data in a way that you can control, because we will use this list later. after we turned our location into a location with warehouse management, we will have to move the items from the adjustment bin, which is a virtual bin that is only used for item journals or physical inventory journals in your warehouse, and we move items from this bin to the actual bins. So now that we have the list, let's look at our location and let's see what we need to do. So let's open the location list. And in this location list, I want to look at my main location. And the first thing that I want to do, you can see this is a location that has no, sorry, not the main one, it's the west one. There we go. In the west one, you can see this location has not, doesn't give you the possibility to change anything here because again, there's no warehouse management feature enabled. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create my new bins, and this should be the real list, the actual list of your bins. Again, in a real warehouse, this can be hundreds, thousands of bins. For this video, we'll make it short. We need at least the adjustment bin and the bins that we need to put away this item to. I'm also going to create a shipment bin and a receipt bin because this is good practice and you will anyway need it. So the first one is the adjustment bin, and then I want to have, let's say, A201, A202, A203, and then I want to have my receipt bin and my shipping bin. Okay, the receipt bin is your loading bay where you will receive the goods before you put away into the actual storage or pick phase. Your shipment bin is where your items go after you register a pick note in preparation for the warehouse shipments to be actually posted. So these bins must exist. Again, your warehouse, you might have many different loading bays or many different loading bays for your receipt and for your shipment. So in this case, you will have shipment 1, shipment 2, shipment 3, or maybe you have the codes of your warehouse, but it doesn't matter. The second thing that that you want to do is to create bin type codes and zones, because zones and bin type codes are essential for your warehouse management system. So in my zones at the moment, you can see I have nothing, and then I can create a zone A, which is again zone A, let's say mezzanine, for example. Okay, and this is going to be zone B, and this is going to be zone B, I don't know, let's say main entrance. Okay, you get a point. And then actually this, let's be consistent, let's give it just a letter, and then you have, I don't know, like zone like C, which is something else. Okay, again zone C. This really depends on the kind of warehouse layout that you have. Okay, it's a decision that you need to take internally, maybe with the help of your partner, by Microsoft partner as a consultant. This is what we often do. And then we have the bin types codes that if I go here, I can see that I created ready. And the bin type codes are essentially a tag that we attach to a bin that determines what kind of transactions can occur to and from that bin. For example, bins with a type bulk can only be used for putaways. You can see this is the putaways, the only operation that is selected, which means that I can only put away items here from when I after I receive them, or when I do a warehouse movement. I move items from one bin to another, but I cannot pick items from here, which means that if I need to pick items from an order and they are only in bulk, I need to replenish my bin and I need to move from bulk to default. Default bin types are bins where I can put away items from, I can pick from these bins. And then we have my receipt type, which I can only receipt items and I can only ship items from this type of bins. Again, in your warehouse you might have many more, or you might just have one or two. It depends on your business flows. Once this is selected, is set up, there is one thing that we cannot do. We cannot assign a bin type code and a zone to these bins at this stage, because this is only possible when the location is set up with advanced management, warehouse management system. In fact, the error that I get is that the bin type code must be equal to blank this is an error message. The two quotation marks means blank. So I cannot give this bins a bin type code, and I can't assign it a zone either. I just need to wait until the process is finished. See, I get an error. Now, I've seen articles online about Business Central consultants suggesting that we should use configuration package. I heard of a consultant who suggested creating writing codes to force the setup of this bins at this stage. I disagree. It's not a good idea. You don't need it. We will see at the end of the process that we can use standard Business Central functionality, and we don't need to force any data in the system. There is a reason why Business Central tells you that you can't do something. It's usually a good reason. So let's stick with standard functionality and let's see how this works. My bins are created, my zones are created, and now there is nothing I can do on this location, try to fiddle around and try to change things, because Dynamics is not going to let me. There is a functionality that runs, that I can run, and it's called create warehouse location. Create warehouse location, it's a rather complex set of tasks that the Dynamics will create in the background that will allow us to create this zone, to change this zone, this location into a location warehouse management system. So I choose my West location and I tell Dynamics what the adjustment bin is. So the adjustment bin is my adjustment. You see, it shows me it's empty. Of course, there's nothing in it. So just to go back to my spreadsheet, now we are doing this. Okay, we are in phase 1. Okay, we are moving inventory from this location to the bin adjustment. Business Central will do it for us. I get a warning. Say you confirm that there will be warehouse management entries for the inventory in this location. Of course, the warehouse entries are these entries from this location to this location in this bin. You must ensure there is no negative inventory existing location, otherwise this will stop, because of course you cannot have negative inventory. And after that you need to do something. Okay, you say you must balance the initial entries on the adjustment bin, posting a journal, and of course you need to assign zones to bins. This may be a bit misleading because it suggests that you first adjust the balance and then you create zones and bins before posting. You say it tells you that you must create zones and bins before posting a physical inventory. Okay, so first we update the setup on the bins and then we move into it. Okay, do we want to do it? Yes, I'm fine. It will run in just a few seconds, okay, because it's very straightforward. And now my warehouse, you can see it's enabled. The warehouse system management system is enabled and my adjustment bin is set up correctly. So there are a couple of things now that we need to do before we can move to phase 2. We cannot move to phase 2 yet, because there are a number of setups that we need to do. And again, we don't need to force this movement of items using configuration worksheets or code. If we do what we need to do, Dynamics will do the job for us. Since I'm here, I'm going to look at my warehouse employees, and I will set up myself as a warehouse employee. And I will also make this the admin, so that I can use for other things like assigning pick nodes, and I can also, if I want, set the default. But it's fine to have a warehouse employee set up here. So set up, the warehouse employees are done, and now we go back to the bins, and now it's the time to change the warehouse bin codes. So my 801 is going to be a default because I want to pick from here, and now you can see I have no errors, and this is going to be A, it's going to be my mezzanine. Number 2 is also a pick phase, also here. But 803, it's bulk because it's very high, I can't reach it. I need to use a rich truck, so it's only bulk. I don't need to change anything, just a bin. This is a virtual bin. It will not be used for any business transaction, warehouse movement. I need to leave it as it is. The receipt bin is my receipt, and it's in my let's say main entrance, and my shipment is opposite, let's say, on my zone C. Okay, now this is done. Now we have the correct setup. You see, no errors, no need to use a configuration package, no need to force our data through Business Central. It does the job. The next thing that I want to do before I can move inventory from the bin, the adjustment bin, because now we have all the inventory in adjustment bin. In fact, you can see this one is the only one which is not empty. My 2 items are in the adjustment bin now. So what I need to do, I need to create my journals templates so that I can use journals to move stock around. So let's look at warehouse templates. There are 2 templates that we need to fix. So there are worksheet templates for my movements, and you can see I have my movements worksheet, and then in my templates I have the names, worksheet names. You can see there is one for each. Okay, so you can see that I have a few because I use it for testing. So you will likely have only one for your warehouse with management system enabled. So this is going to be my West, and this is done for the worksheet name. Then I want to have the pick worksheet. That if you want to use pick worksheet, it's very powerful. I actually use it a lot in my projects. You might want to look into it. It might be for another video. So West, I also want to default to pick worksheet, no problem. And then you need to have the put away worksheet, which is again an interesting feature. I will create another video, but at the moment let's create this one for my West location. So the West location can have all the worksheet templates created. The second thing that I want to do, that you need to do for warehouse templates, is your journal templates. Okay, and there are only 2 journal templates: the item journal templates for your warehouse item journal that we will use to journal in items into the actual bin. You can see I have a few. So this is going to be West. I will copy, and I'm going to say West, and it's going to be my West location. And then you want your physical inventory journal templates for when you run physical inventory, and you get your teams to, let's say, West to check inventory. So this is going to be West, and it will be my West. Excellent. So now we have the templates, we have the warehouse employees, we have everything in the adjustment bin. It's now time to do a warehouse item journal. This is where most people, even consultants, get it wrong. They believe they need a movement journal to move items from the adjustment bin to the actual bin, but a movement worksheet will not work because the adjustment bin is a virtual bin. And so if I select my my West location here, and I try to let's say get bin content, and I want Business Central to tell me what I have in my adjusted bin, it's empty. Okay, this is not a normal bin. You cannot use this kind of features because we're not really moving items from one bin to another. We need to journal in the item. So what we really going to do here is to journal items in. This is a positive inventory journal. It's not a real positive inventory journal, but you're not going to change your inventory because this one is going to balance what happened here. So now we have from in the bin you have 50. In the adjustment bin you have 50. When we move items to the bin 8001, it will take items from here. The inventory balance will be 0. So there's no item journal created. But it's a warehouse item journal. So warehouse item journal. Okay. Warehouse item journal, and now I need to get my batch name that is pointing at my location West. Okay, and now this is what we want to do. We want to look at this journal, and again, ideally you can create, now you can use the edit in Excel if you want to. You can open in Excel here, you can copy from Excel and paste it into this journal. You can use configuration package, to get you the to prepare the list of your inventory journal and push it through the system. But let's do it manually just for the sake of this exercise and see how it works. So I want to put 30 of this product of this article, this item, sorry, in one bin. So I'm going to go here and put this code, and now I want the bin code to be 8001. So 8001, you can see it will find automatically the zone, and let's say I want 30 here. Okay, only 30. And the remainder of this one is going to be F8 to copy. The remainder of this one is going to be in A003. Okay, A003, and I will have the rest of. Okay, next one we'll have the item here. It's my chair, and I say I want in A002. Okay, A002. Oh, this is not the zone, it's the bin, A002. And I say we want all of them. Okay, 6. There we go. Again, this can be an easy import to do with configuration package. You just need to look at the table. Let's look at the table number, inspect pages and data. You create a configuration number on the warehouse journal line, table 7311, and you get the journal template item. The journal batch is warehouse item J West, whatever you put in here, and then line by line you copy, and you use Excel to push journal lines into this journal. So this will be, in a real business scenario, can be thousands of lines, right? So you don't want to do it manually, but you can use configuration package for this. And let me show you exactly what happens here. You can see the 2 bin code is my A001. So if I look at my let me see if I can, if there is a visibility here, you can see that the from bin code, which is not showing in this page, but it's essentially in the record for this record here, because what I'm selecting here, it's the first line, and it's telling me that this journal is going to pick a quantity of 30 of this item from the adjustment bin, because it is where it is, right? This is here, it's in the adjustment bin. It's going to take it from the adjustment bin and is going to put it to the 8001, which is this one. So even though this is called warehouse item journal, your inventory doesn't move, doesn't get changed. Okay, we just moving items from the bin to the other bin. So what we need to do now, we just need to register. We register the journal. Journal lines were successfully registered, and there we go. And now you can see that my items here, my list is the same. Okay, it doesn't, nothing really changes. And let me see if I can see something about the bin, the availability. Read the quantity of the item in each bin. You can see on this item. Let me see if I can see the bin. There we go. You can see that for my item 9068S, this one, I should have an inventory of 6 in my location West in bin 002. There we go. In West, I have 002, and it's a quantity of 6. So the journal is being posted successfully, and there is nothing else I need to do now. The last thing I want to do at this stage maybe is to, if I have more bins, I will have more bins. I want to finish the setup so that, for example, I can tell Dynamics that this is the default receipt bin that I want to use. If you have a default receipt bin, if not, you can use the receipt bin every time you receive stock, which can be something different every time, right? It can be the same logic as for the shipment bin now, right? And this is it. You can choose your cross dock, you can do other things, but essentially now my my location is set up, and you can start using warehouse receipts, put away, movement, bin replenishment, pickings and shipments. I can consolidate pigs. I can use all the advanced features that are available for Business Central. And I will create more videos about these features. Let me know in the comments below if this is something you appreciated, and also let me know if you ever been in a position where you needed to go through this process but you didn't know how to, and therefore what you did instead. Maybe you created another location, maybe you have obsolete locations in Business Central, and again, let's exchange some tips on how to best address this issue. If you enjoyed, like this video and share it with your colleagues, and speak to you all very soon.